For more than 25 years when we started doing the work that we do in the town of Woodburn. I also want to take time to darle las gracias to the people that are graduating today. It is really an honor for me to be here to address you. Truly, you've come a long ways. I have worked for the past 13 years to pass the DREAM Act, and I've also was active in the last 10 years to pass tuition equity in the state of Oregon, and finally this year we passed it. Sí se puede.
Yeah! Woo!
And in fact, I think Latinos and immigrants in the state of Oregon have enjoyed the two most important victories, political victories in our state, when we not only passed tuition equity, but we also reinstated the Oregon driver's license to thousands and thousands of immigrants in the state. I want to thank everybody from the Eugene community for their assistance in making that happen, truly. I want to thank the University of Oregon because on the tuition equity struggle, the administration and the student organizations on campus, including the Black Student Union and MECHA and many, many others, were really core and central to winning that fight. In addition, I want to thank the University of Oregon. I was just recently here to address the Latino Root celebration because the University of Oregon, for those that don't know, houses the PCUN archives. The struggle of farm workers over the past 50 years is documented at the Night Library. So after this celebration, I invite you to go to the Night Libraries to see the PCUN archives, which are displayed there in the library, which is a history of the struggle of farm workers in the state of Oregon. And when we started the union 25 years ago, we had a vision. We knew that education was important. We knew that teaching and building leadership in our community, but especially among young people, was important. That when we first got here back in the 70s to do the work that we do today, we looked around and we seen that there was a lot of movement going around. There was a lot of people struggling for change. That farm workers were actually organizing to improve their living and working conditions, but there was no documentation of that. And there was a sorry state of affairs. So when we started organizing, the first thing we decided to do was we wanted to document the work that we were doing. And the reason why, not because we wanted some kind of glory or anything like that, but we wanted to teach people. We wanted to build leadership. We wanted to build capacity. But most importantly, we wanted to leave our history so that other people can understand it, read it, emulate it, use it to organize, to improve the lives, not only of farm workers, not only of immigrants, but to build a society based on respect and equality for all. That's what we're all about. And we wanted to do that through our example, through our work. We wanted to share that with the world. And finally, 2 years ago, the University of Oregon president went down to Woodburn. We took him to the labor camps. He saw the conditions. He broke down in tears and told us, this can't be happening in the state of Oregon. I got to do something about it. And so he asked us if we would be willing to sign an agreement to make the University of Oregon the official archives of the farm worker movement, and we said sure. So a couple of months later, we came up here, and since then, the Night Library and the archives have been coming down to Woodburn and making copies of our photographs and taking all these materials and digitalizing them so that and eventually they will become a roving archives so that people not only at the University of Oregon can use them, but people throughout the state of Oregon and all the colleges and universities and also nationally and internationally can see the work that PCUN done over the last 30 years in the state of Oregon. So this is a really, really important thing for all of us. I just want to mention that a lot of people ask me, how did you get involved in the farm worker movement? What was the motivating factors that got you involved? And it was very much like a ceremony like this. Only that Ramón Ramírez didn't address you, Cesar Chavez did. And so he said things that really resonated with me that I want to leave with you folks today, because I think you have one of the most important challenges in your life, and that is not only to make good for yourselves, but also to make your community proud of you and your family. Because I truly believe that if you don't organize your family, you can't organize your community and you can't organize yourself. It's really important that the three of them come together. So what Cesar Chavez told me, I was sitting very much like you. And, a lot of people encourage us to continue our education. A lot of people tell us to be doctors, to be lawyers, to be teachers, to come back to the community and serve. But he said something in addition to that, what really stayed in my mind is that you can make a difference today by using the kind of power that you've never used before. And that was your economic power. You simply could build power and make a difference for the most important people in America today, which is the people that pick our crops day in and day out, are the lowest paid workers in America, but are the most important, not only workers in the world, in our country, but in the world. And that these people feed us every day. But yet they're not afforded the same rights that everybody has in this country. And you can make a difference and changing their lives by simply not buying grapes or lettuce. That was all he asked. He said you can use your economic power. Power that maybe many of you don't even realize you have. Economic power. Right? I got to tell you, with the 2012 election, right, the power of the minority vote in this country flourished when we re-elected President Barack Obama. And it was a coming together, not only because in the media you'll say that the Latino community made a difference, but it was really the Black community, the Asian community, Native American community coming together and expressing their vote in a united way. And so, very much like in Cesar's word that you can make a difference, I believe that you can make a difference in your community by using the inspirational words of Cesar Chavez, that si se puede, yes, it can be done. And I would go further in terms of the values that Ethnic Studies Department teaches you or taught you in the years that you were here to get your degree, that of peace, justice, and knowledge. I would add three other words to that. As you continue your work, as you continue your lives, you are the future of America. You will make a difference in your community, whether you like it or not, right? And I think that your work here at the University of Oregon is not completed yet, because the very words of peace, justice, and knowledge got to continue in every phase of the work that you do from now on. But I would add three more things, right? That to make a difference in yourselves, in your family, and your community, you have to inspire volunteerism. Volunteer for the good of your community. The other, sacrifice. Sacrifice is really important. And the last thing I would say is community service. Go back to your community and serve, right? And sometimes you serve without even expecting a reward. Because what we're about is we're building a new society. We want to build a society based on respect and dignity. And you folks can carry on that message and do that work. Because I've worked with one of your own. You know, I had the privilege of working with Ty during the last legislative session. And if you have graduates like Ty, we want you at the state capitol. Because he made a difference. Not only were we able to pass the driver's license, we were able to pass tuition equity, but we were actually passed a lot of bills on equity issues for people of color. We were also won legislation to improve the lives and living conditions, working conditions of farm workers, right? We were able to pass bills dealing with racial profiling. And we were able to raise the question of equality of LGBTQ folks in the legislative process, even though we didn't have specific bills, but we're setting ourselves for the next fight is to pass the Marriage Equality Act in 2014.
That's right.
And we know that we could do it because we have people like Ty, who are one of you, and he should be an inspiration for you because what he embodies is the very values and concepts of what you all need to be when you go home over the next few years, because that's the kind of leadership that we need. Remember, we're not only working for peace, justice, and knowledge, but we got to volunteer. It's about sacrifice, and it's about community service. So I wanna end by saying that it's a real honor for me to be here, and I'm really happy, not only for you but for the families that are here, because I know the families have sacrificed. I have a son in college. He's a sophomore at Portland State University, and I know that me and my wife and our family have had to sacrifice a lot just to get him through an education and to get him where he's at right now. And so I know that the families here have also sacrificed, but it's a very proud day for each and every one of you because you have your children here are now graduating, and they will make a difference because I truly believe that the values that they learned here at this department will be carried on and make them stronger people in their lives in the future. So without further, I would say, you know, felicidades a todos. Congratulations to all, and that you guys, I tell you, made the first step. Like I tell you, I said in the beginning, I know a lot of students who would be willing, who would sacrifice to be in the position that you all are in, but couldn't because of their undocumented status, right? Hopefully this year with the legislation that we passed in the Oregon legislature, that those people will have that opportunity. So I believe that you folks are blessed. Take advantage of the education that you have, that you've gotten here, and you put it to good use. And I truly believe that you will. So, sí se puede. Gracias.